Question for Coach?
So, new season, Coach. How are you feeling about the team right now?
I feel good. We had a good day today. We had a good one on Sunday and Monday, and so I liked some of the things I saw. As we progressed through the exhibitions, and just really excited to look at our team in its entirety. That's the one thing that we haven't really seen yet, and just getting all the guys on the floor at one time. And I think because that's what I see in practice, and that's pretty good. And I think it'll improve as that starts to all come together.
How does this year feel in comparison to the last couple of years, or just any other years in your coaching career? I
have high level trust for our seniors and what they've meant to the program and me personally, and how they've battled and persevered last year, and they've all had very good individual careers, and just the focus those guys have on playing at a high level, and trying to push us to put us in a position as we go on this journey this year to have a chance to play in postseason. And I'm optimistic that that's a possibility, especially as we get Ramelo White, Vitaly Scheibel, Daquan Lake, more experience, and hopefully it'll all come together.
Kind of following up on that, how have you seen the play of your seniors kind of evolve on the court over the time that you've coached them?
Well, I mean, it's Trey has worked on things that we've asked him to work on, and and gotten better in certain areas. He's always had great instincts to get in the paint, and he's doing other things to become a more complete player. And Cody has always been a warrior and sacrifice for us, and plays as hard as any kid I've coached. And Shannon is is like a son to me. Just all the time we've spent together, everything we've been through over the last 5 years. So it's an honor to be able to coach them this year, and we're hoping to I'm hoping to give them everything that I can give them, and hopefully their teammates will understand this is their last go around, and they're hungry to be successful this year and be a winning program.
What's the biggest goal for Friday, and that you can carry over for the rest of the season?
I mean, we just I could just tell and get a sense that our guys are super excited to play, and it's we've had a long summer with the foreign trip and more practice, and then the fall and our workouts and how hard we go, and the preseason, and just practicing against each other every day, and now the season's in front of us, and you could really sense the enthusiasm of that, and how our practices are developing this week. So I know that we're going to be very enthusiastic to play on Friday night.
Is that something more than usual, more enthusiasm than past years?
I mean, I think it's the first game. I think everyone's probably amped to play, but I just think that our guards know that we have more legitimate threats to play with them, and I think that they're excited about that too.
A lot of things have to happen for you to stay on the plan that you set out at the beginning of coming in here. Health, development, recruiting. But are you where you guys thought you'd be right now in that development?
I mean, I want to do it right away and win immediately, but so I've had to just stretch my levels of patience and being optimistic and knowing that it's going to come together. And I do like the team that I see every day in practice, and there's from a lot of different players giving me indication that things are going in a great direction. And when you have the type of young talent with Kamani Lawrence and Remy Martin, what they've been able to do in these exhibitions, and what they've shown me in practice, the future is strong, and that goes for Ramelo White as a freshman that's had a whole year in the program to learn and develop, and then what we're doing in future classes in terms of recruiting. So I feel great about the direction we're going, and I do feel like we have a team that when all the guys are healthy and eligible, that we have a lot of different ways that we could attack our opponent. And And I didn't always feel that way last year, and that's what makes me feel better about our chances to have a great season once we get everyone on the floor.
How hard is it for you to stretch your patience?
I mean, there's no choice. You know, sometimes you have a hand that you're dealt, and then and you go through maybe what you could have done or what you could have done a little better to maybe a guy you could have brought in that you didn't bring in, and you went a different way, and there's always things that you could second guess why it hasn't come together faster, but you just gotta trust the process.
Defensive improvement.
You talked about a long preseason and everything. Has that been a positive for you guys, or is that something that might tire some of the players out early in the season?
I mean, I just look at the way Trey played in San Diego, and then what Shannon did in the last exhibition. I mean, that's as fresh as I've seen Shannon look in weeks, and my practices do take their toll on the players early in late September, early October, but generally we scale back in the time as we get closer, because I know our fitness level is where it needs to be, and then generally the guys get another bump in terms of their bodies feeling better, and that's what I've seen this week in practice. So I think that they're mentally and physically fresh.
You have a signed NLI in from Elias from Finland. Can you talk about him as a prospect, why you wanted Adam?
Yeah, I think Elias, just again played at a high level and plays in a great program, and has produced a number of high-level guys, and just really good all-around player, and very skilled player. He fits into how we play offense, and I just think I value guys that could shoot the basketball and make the three, and we have done that very successfully since I've been here, and especially with a guy like Cody graduating, with his size at 6'6", and just his skill level and his shooting ability are things that will fit in very well with the other guys that we have, both our transfers sitting out and players that are returning.
You talked about the future of the program and the youth that's on this team. How much of an impact have the seniors had on those young players?
Well, I just think that they're so push button, and they come to work every day for practice with the right attitude, and they set a high standard. They're very competitive. They make our segments very competitive because they want to win everything, and I think that's the main thing. The enthusiasm, the desire to play, and get better every day, and so it's a great example that those guys usually bring every day to practice.
Can you talk about how you've been able to bring in some higher level recruits to the program?
Well, I mean, it's we've tried to recruit hard, to build relationships, and just it's a lot to sell here. It's a great conference. Pac-12 is unbelievable, league to play in terms of turning out NBA players. It's a great city, and the weather, and a great school, and so I mean there's a million things you could really sell here to prospects, and it's always, I think a lot of people have always viewed Arizona State as a sleeping giant, and hopefully eventually it'll wake up, and we're hoping to make that happen.
Defensive improvement is obviously big for you guys. Just where are you at with that right now?
It's just it's a day-to-day battle in there, just to focus on, emphasize rebound, and it's if we see a possession that takes place and a guy doesn't block out and it results in an offensive rebound, then usually the team's going to the line, and it's and you don't get sent to the line for very often for other things. That's been like a priority for us to focus on that, and we just don't have yet still the type of athletes that could get away with giving the team multiple possessions, and we got guys sitting out like Zylan Cheatham and different guys, Rob Edwards, and so that as maybe when we get to that group we could afford to make those type of mistakes, but we can't afford to do that this year as much, so we've been working on that pretty hard.
Is that your biggest concern going into the season?
I think that Defensive, from a straight defensive standpoint, I mean, I don't think I felt any better about a team's potential as an offensive team since I've been here than this team that I have. I think the rebounding, and then, you know, we gotta be able to protect the paint, and you know, and whether that's from being in great position and giving your body up and taking a charge, or guys getting off their feet around the rim and challenging shots. We just, you know, last year's field goal percentage, 2-point field goal percentage defense was not at a level that good teams would have. So those are the two things we have to focus, I think, the most on.
Given your experience playing the position, how do you think you helped Trey grow as a player and leader over the past couple of years?
I mean, I just, you know, we talk about situations that happen as we'll go through practices and games. Did you see this? Did you see that read? You know, Coach Burno will do the same thing with him. He's got a couple of point guards on the staff that are really trying to work with, you know, with all the guys, really. But and then just, you know, the tenacity that I played with, you know, on defense at times, and trying to bring more of that nastiness out of Trey. Trey's a great kid and plays at, you know, very hard to read Trey, you know, sometimes just with his emotion, and so he's done it. I mean, Remy's gotten a lot of credit in the preseason for his energy and ball pressure on defense, but Trey, in his own way, has really done a great job of that also.
At this point, how familiar are you with any sort of timetable on a renovation to Wells Fargo?
At the moment, it's not something like with the season starting and us like being in the trenches with that I've really had a lot of conversations about recently. But I hope that, you know, long term, that's something that is, you know, I know that I've had discussions that's a priority moving forward in athletics, and I'm sure that's being worked on right now as I'm getting the guys ready to play.
When you look at the 3 exhibition games, Remy Martin may have been the most consistent player. What are your expectations for him as a true freshman?
I just think just his electricity and his desire to play and just being, you know, just being a pest out there, you know, and just making plays and bothering the other point guard and pushing the ball up the floor, and, you know, just you know, he puts pressure on a team at both ends, and I just never want him to lose sight of that. I just hope he you know, he brings that, you know, every night.
You have a great appreciation for work ethic from your dad, et cetera, from your upbringing. Does he bring it on a different level? Is there something unique about the way he plays the game, Remy?
I mean, he's just got a great fire and passion and positive energy that he has, you know, and you know, he likes to demoralize the opponent if he can, like just wear him down, you know, into submission, just because of how hard he's willing to play, you know, and defend and then create, you know. So he's special. He can just do things both athletically and with his mind and his desire that not a lot of young guys like him have the maturity to do that.
Does he remind you of you at all?
I mean, we're way different. You know, I've said that I like to recruit guys that I think have more upside than I have. You know, I just think that he could do things from a dynamic standpoint with his quickness and his speed, and you know, I was a decent athlete, but nowhere near what he's capable of doing out there, and you know, he's trying to reverse dunk in exhibition, and he's not even 6 feet. I mean, stuff that I wouldn't even think about trying to do. So he's got, you know, great future, and you know, I just want him to continue to have that same love that he has. You could see it, you know, when guys love to play and love the game, and it's easy to tell, and with him, it's always pretty easy to see that.
Ramelo's status?
Yeah, Ramelo is right now still, it's up in the air, and he practiced today, and again, we'll know, you know, Friday night at tip, and that's probably the most I'm going to say about that.
Coach, the team has added a lot of size to the front court. What effect do you think that has on the guys in the back court that were expected to carry a lot more of the load last season?
Well, I think it gives them a little breather, you know, throughout a game too, where you know, I've seen a lot of moments in practice, and even our game at San Diego where we threw the ball inside, and Ramelo not only could score inside, but he'll pass out of the post, and we were able to play inside out and get a shot. It's always been outside in, you know, especially last year. So like I think that those guys respect his talent and know that, you know, that something positive could happen if they get him the ball inside. So I think it's working well.